4 stories, 4 creative entrepreneurs, 4 completely different disciplines. A photographer sitting on 1,300 images, a copywriter getting paid once for expertise worth 10 times the invoice. A brand strategist whose income tripled, not by working more, but by redesigning how work compounds. Over the course of this series, we've been building toward one question. The question that sits underneath all 4 of those stories. What is your creative work actually worth? Not what you've been charging for it. Not what one client paid for one project one time. What is it actually worth? Across every lifetime it could have, every format it could take, every person it could help, every revenue stream it could feed. Today we find out, and today you walk away with a plan. Welcome to the series finale of 5 ways to make money from work you've already created, here on Empower Art, Time, and Money. If you've been with us from the beginning, thank you. This series has been built for you, for the musicians and photographers, the designers and dancers, the writers and visual artists, the performers and producers who are running real creative businesses and deserve real financial strategy to match the quality of their work. If this is your first episode, here's what you've missed, and trust me, you'll want to go back and watch them all. In part 1, we met Maya, a photographer who had been treating her archive like a filing cabinet instead of a revenue source. 3 years of stunning images seen only once by only the people who commissioned them. A 2-hour audit changed everything. By shifting her perspective from completed work to income-generating asset, Maya generated over $2,000 in new revenue in 6 months and built $300 to $500 in passive monthly income that continues to grow. Her lesson, finished doesn't mean done. In part 2, we went deeper with Alex, a graphic designer who cracked the code on something most creatives never think about: the difference between what belongs to the client and what still belongs to you. The deliverable is theirs, but the foundational layer, the patterns, the textures, the design logic, the structural thinking, that's yours. Alex built an entire product empire from that layer, ethically, legally, and profitably. The lesson, know exactly what you own, then build from it deliberately. In part 3, Sam showed us that the most powerful asset hiding inside your creative work isn't something you can see or touch. It's expertise. The invisible accumulation of industry knowledge, tested frameworks, and proven methodologies that builds up quietly over years of client work, and that most creatives give away for free every single day. Sam packaged that expertise into courses, templates, group programs, and micro consultations, and generated over $38,000 in new annual revenue on top of an already thriving freelance business. The lesson, your client work is a paid education. Start charging tuition. And in part 4, Riley showed us what happens when you stop reacting to what you've already created and start designing for compound value from the very beginning. When every client project is architected to feed courses, content, case studies, speaking topics, and a product ecosystem simultaneously, the math stops being linear. Riley's revenue went from $50,000 in year 1 to $152,000 in year 3, working fewer hours with fewer clients at higher rates. The lesson, think in systems, not projects. Design work that works for you long after it's delivered. 4 strategies, 4 stories, and now your action plan. Before we get tactical, let's name the thing that connects all 4 stories, because there's a single truth underneath all of them. And if you take nothing else from this series, take this. You are not just a creative. You are an asset creator. Every photograph you've taken, every piece of music you've recorded, every design you've completed, every word you've written, every performance you've given, every strategy you've developed, these are not one-time transactions. They are assets. And assets, by definition, have the potential to generate value beyond the initial moment of creation. The problem isn't that your creative work lacks value. The problem is that most of us were never taught to think about our work that way. Create, deliver, invoice, move on. A treadmill that requires constant forward motion just to stay in the same place financially. Maya, Alex, Sam, and Riley all got off the treadmill, not by working less, at least not at first, but by working differently, by asking a different question at the end of every project. Not, what's next? But, what else can this become? That question, asked consistently, acted on systematically, is what separates a creative freelancer from a creative entrepreneur. And that's who this channel is built for. So here's your first action step. Set a 2-hour block in your calendar this week. Protect it like it's a client meeting because it might be the most valuable 2 hours you spend all month. Do the asset audit. Open your archives, your hard drive, your cloud storage, your portfolio folders, your old client project files, your sketchbooks, your recordings, your drafts, your unfinished experiments, your behind-the-scenes documentation. All of it. Then sort what you find into 5 categories. Category 1, print and product potential. What could be sold as a physical or print-on-demand product? Paintings, illustrations, photographs, graphic compositions, lyric art, typography pieces, anything with visual appeal that could live on a wall, a tote bag, a journal cover, a greeting card. If it's beautiful or meaningful as a standalone piece, it belongs here. Category 2, licensing and stock potential. What could be licensed for use by others? Images, music, sound designs, written content, design elements, anything that someone else might want to use in their own project, campaign, or product. Stock platforms, sync licensing libraries, template marketplaces, these are the channels where this category lives. Category 3, educational content potential. What could teach something? Behind-the-scenes process documentation, before and after transformations, method demonstrations, technique breakdowns, anything that shows how you do what you do. This is the raw material for YouTube videos, blog posts, online courses, and workshop curricula. Category 4, course and template potential. What expertise have you built that others would pay to learn or use? What frameworks, systems, or repeatable processes have you developed through your client work? What do people ask you about most often? That's your course. That's your template library. That's your consulting offer. Category 5, case study and authority potential. What results have you produced for clients, for yourself, for your own creative practice that tell a compelling story? What transformations have you been part of? These are your case studies, your speaking topics, your book proposals, your thought leadership foundation. Don't worry about implementation yet. Don't let yourself spiral into overwhelm about how to turn any of this into money. Right now, just identify, just see what's there. Because here's what most creative entrepreneurs discover in that first audit. There's far more than they thought. The gold mine is almost always bigger than expected. Once you've done your audit, the next question is, where do you start? And my answer is always the same. Start with one thing. Not 5, not 3, 1. Pick the category with the highest concentration of assets and the lowest barrier to entry for you personally. Then choose one of these 5 quick start moves and commit to it this month. Option 1. Launch a print-on-demand shop with your 10 best pieces. Platforms like Printful, Printify, or Fine Art America let you set up a shop with almost no upfront cost. Select your 10 strongest visual pieces, write simple descriptions, set your prices, and publish. 4 hours of setup, ongoing passive revenue. This is Maya's move, and it's the fastest path to seeing your first dollar from existing work. Option 2, upload 50 pieces to a stock or licensing platform. Adobe Stock, Shutterstock, Pond5 for musicians, Audio Jungle for audio creators. Pick the platform that fits your medium and start uploading. The more you have in the catalog, the more you earn. This is a long game, but it's a game that pays you while you sleep. Option 3, create one template package from your most successful work. What structure, format, or framework have you used repeatedly that gets results? Strip out the client-specific elements, generalize it, add instructions, and package it for sale on Gumroad, Etsy, or Creative Market. This is Alex's move. And for many creative entrepreneurs, it becomes their most consistent passive income stream. Option 4, write one educational piece about your creative process. A blog post, a YouTube video, a LinkedIn article, a newsletter. Pick one platform, pick one aspect of your process that you know well, and share it with genuine depth and specificity. This is Sam's move, the first stone in a content flywheel that builds authority, attracts an audience, and feeds every other revenue stream over time. Option 5, package one small course or workshop from your area of expertise. It doesn't have to be a 12-module video course. Start with a 90-minute workshop, a PDF guide, a live Zoom session for a small group. The point is to take the expertise you've been giving away inside client work and create a vehicle to sell it directly. Price it simply. Launch it to your existing network first. Iterate from there. One option, this month. That's the commitment. Now, let's talk about the thing that makes all of this possible, and the thing that stops most creative entrepreneurs before they even start. Mindset. Specifically, the belief that your work is only worth what the original client paid for it. That once a project is delivered, it's done. That turning your creative work into multiple revenue streams is somehow extractive or opportunistic or not what a real artist does. Let me be direct about this. That belief is costing you money, and it's a belief worth examining because here's the reality. Every other type of knowledge worker leverages their expertise across multiple income streams. Authors write books and give keynotes and run masterminds and consult. Architects design buildings and teach and write and advise. Business strategists serve clients and sell courses and license frameworks and speak on stages. Why should creative entrepreneurs be any different? Your art is not diminished by being sold in more than one format. Your music is not less meaningful because it's licensed for a film and available on streaming and taught in a course. Your photography is not less beautiful because it's sold as a print and uploaded to a stock library and featured in an educational video about composition. The creative work is the creative work. The revenue strategy is the revenue strategy. Both deserve your full attention and intention. What you're building here at Empower Art, Time and Money, is the integration of those two things, art and strategy, creativity and financial intelligence, soul and sustainability. You do not have to choose between them. Here's the truth that every creative entrepreneur needs to carry forward from this series. You've already done the hard work. You've already poured the hours into the craft. You've already solved the creative problems, developed the skills, built the expertise, produced the work. The hardest part, the creation, is already done. What this series has been about is the smart work. The work of looking at what you've already built and asking, how do I make this keep paying me? How do I turn one payment into many? How do I shift from trading time for money to building assets that generate income across multiple lifetimes? Maya did it with an archive of photographs. Alex did it with a layer of design assets. Sam did it with 2 years of invisible expertise. Riley did it by redesigning the architecture of an entire business. And you can do it with whatever you've already created, in whatever medium, at whatever stage of your career, starting this week. Your past work is not dead weight. It is not a closed chapter. It is not a filing cabinet of memories. It is a business waiting to be activated. So go do your audit, pick your quick start, make the shift. And if this series gave you something real, share it with a creative entrepreneur in your life who needs to hear it. Drop a comment below and tell me, what's the first revenue stream you're going to unlock? I genuinely want to know. This is Empower Art, Time and Money, where your creativity is the asset, your art is the business, and your best financial chapter is still ahead of you. Thank you for being here for this entire series. Check out the Empower Art podcast for more content like this, and we'll see you in the next one.